All right.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. This is
Okay.
being recorded. As always, I'll send it out in the next couple of days. I will say both Alicia and I have storms going on at our house, and there's been some spotty Wi-Fi. So if everything goes blank, that's what happened. But
And
hopefully we make
yeah,
it through.
and power.
And power. Yeah, yeah.
So,
So we're going against the forces of nature today.
yep.
But without further ado, I'll just turn it on over to Alicia, our account manager extraordinaire here, along with all of our other account managers at
Yes.
ActionFlow. She's going to run us through some exciting new features with the program.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. We're really excited to show you some of these features. I'm going to go over 4 brand new features of ActionFlow that are going to help you schedule faster, manage your payments more accurately, and improve some of your inventory visibility. Um, and I just want to say that we're not going to like dive into details about any of these. I just want to make sure you're aware of them and how they can help you. And then if you do want help setting up or if you need more detail, we invite you to reach out to your account manager and let them know. So the first thing we're going to talk about is batch scheduling.
We're not
Um,
seeing your screen, by the
oh,
way.
that would help, wouldn't it? How about now?
Money.
Okay. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the batch scheduling. ActionFlow now has the ability to allow you to add multiple jobs to the scheduler at the same time. So in your scheduler screen in ActionFlow, you can see there is a new button that's called Batch. If you click that button, it opens a window for you and you can see all of the jobs that are currently needing to be scheduled. From this point, you can individually drag them and drop them onto the schedule, or you can select multiple jobs by holding your control key down and clicking however many you want, and then drag them all onto the schedule together. Um, and that will allow you to schedule multiple jobs at the same time. The top section of that batch scheduling window that opens does allow you to filter. So if you only want to see jobs that are ready for install or jobs that are, you only want to see jobs that are ready for template, you can do that. It also tells you which action you're creating in bulk. And so that will allow you to move all of those over at once. So that is ActionFlow's new batch scheduling feature. The next thing we're going to talk about is the QuickBooks mapping. So if you've ever had to set up QuickBooks mapping in ActionFlow before, you did have to very carefully have QuickBooks open and copy and paste either an item name or a product and service to map that action or that item from ActionFlow back to. The new QuickBooks mapping makes this a much quicker setup, but there's also some daily management features that make this a better option as well. So to get to this in the grid view, under the task menu, you would open the QuickBooks Control Center, and that opens a new pop-up screen that looks like this, and it is your QuickBooks Control Center. You can, if you have this connected to your online or your enterprise version, retrieve your QuickBooks line items, and ActionFlow will go out and retrieve all your products, services, or items and pull them into QuickBooks for you. And then as you begin mapping, those are all available in a drop-down menu. So it makes mapping those items much, much quicker. In addition to that, there is an export tab up here. And you can, instead of pulling those X grid views in, you can actually do it all here in one screen. You can pull in the jobs that are ready for export, the accounts, the payments, or the invoices. And you just click that retrieve records in queue, and it allows you to pull all of them in at once. One other benefit to this screen is you can now in bulk mark multiple jobs or payments or invoices as already exported. So instead of having to go to each line item and find the date, you can now just simply select multiple payments and mark them as exported. This will also let you see your exported data. So instead of having to run a report, you can now come to the control center, click on exported data, and see the jobs, accounts, payments, or invoices that have been exported within a certain date range. And it will pull those in for you. And that will show you the date that it was exported. So that is the new QuickBooks Control Center that exists. It's in your grid view. Once again, if you have questions about any of this after our webinar is concluded, you can reach out to your account manager, but we will have a section for questions here at the end. Okay, this one is our payment allocation. So ActionFlow has always had a payment allocation feature that allowed you to allocate payments to multiple jobs, but it has been enhanced. And so on the customer view, there is a task menu, and now there are, instead of just an allocate payment, you have 3 options. You can allocate a payment to all of the active jobs in the list. You can allocate a payment to selected jobs, meaning whichever ones you have highlighted here, or you can allocate a payment to a selected phase group. And depending on which one you select, ActionFlow pulls this screen up. And at this point, you can put in the information from the payment. So if it is if it's a credit card payment, if it's a check, you can enter all of that information up here. And then you can equally apply that to every row that you've brought in. You can do a proportional to revenue. So if you had a job that was $5,000 and a job that was $2,500 and you were applying a $1,000 deposit, it would proportionally break that deposit up based on the total revenue of the job. You can also do just the proportional to amount due. So sometimes maybe there's a larger payment on one job and less on the other, and you can do a proportional to what they owe. You can fully pay off if it's a full payment to take care of all of the different phase groups or the different jobs. You can select that. And then the last button, of course, is to clear it. If you made a mistake and we want to change it, we can just hit that clear button. And then down here, if there are prior payments, you'll be able to see those here. So you'll be able to make sure you'll be able to see what already has been paid. And then this last button down here, you're going to decide if it is the deposit or the final payment that you're applying to these jobs. And once you have the information filled and you click OK, then ActionFlow is going to go allocate that payment to the correct job or phase group, and you only have to enter the payment one time. This one is probably, of all the things we are talking about today, this one probably has the most complicated entry the first time you do it. It can be a little confusing, so please feel free to reach out to your account manager and have them walk you through it the first time you use this feature if you need to. The best part about this is it does help have a cleaner payment history, and there's less manual adjustment after the fact. So less voiding and payment and going and applying it to a different phase. Okay, and our final feature we're going to talk about today are our projected remnants. So in ActionFlow, sometimes you do want to be able to see the remnant that you are going to have before you actually use the slab. And so ActionFlow now has a projected status for remnants. And you can set that up on your fabrication tab. You'll go to your fabrication tab. And then before you use the remnants, you simply click the rem button to the right. That button, when you click it, it's going to bring up a little pop-up box, and it's going to tell you that because you haven't used the slab, it's going to create the remnant with a projected status. You just click OK, and then you move on to the remnant pop-up screen and enter the correct size. Once you do that and you refresh your screen, you can actually then apply that remnant to a job. You can tag it and it will show that it has a projected status. It doesn't exist yet, but it will soon. When ActionFlow creates that projected remnant, it also creates it back in the inventory section and gives it the correct remnant number. But if you were to look for the details, they're just not there yet because it is still projected. Once you mark the use button to use that slab, ActionFlow is going to give you this pop-up, and it gives you the option to confirm the remnant. Yes, that's the size I wound up with. To cancel it, maybe we wound up not using that slab, or we need to change the size of it, or we can use the do not use, which is we actually did not use the slab at all. So those are the three options. You can either confirm it, cancel it, or do not use. If you do go ahead and confirm it, then ActionFlow does set the status of that original slab to used. It makes the remnant available, and you don't have to change where anything is tagged. Okay, so those are the 4 new features that we have given you in ActionFlow. Once again, if you need assistance setting any of that up, we do invite you to reach out to your account manager. But right now, does anyone have any questions they want to ask about anything that we just went over?
Feel free to unmute or type in the chat. Either way works.
Alicia,
oh, go ahead.
Hey, Alicia, it's Tara. Question for you. Can you show me that batch scheduler one more time? Once you click on all, how do you get them on the schedule?
Yeah, you actually drag them. So once you have them clicked on over here, you just drag them and drop them on whatever user or day you want to add them. And then from there, you can drag them around to the right time or the right user. It's just a very fast way of getting them all onto the scheduler, and then allows you to just drag them around as needed.
Perfect. Thank you.
One thing to note too with the enhanced batch scheduling is if you were to scroll that window to the right, you see a bunch more attributes of the job, the color, the revenue. So you can kind of pick and choose how you want to schedule based on some of that added information over there.
Excellent point.
Alicia, I'm not sure if you covered this or not, but for the projected status of the slab, what if it ends up being like getting rid of that? So you're not using that slab anymore. You broke it.
There's a do not use button.
Okay. You may have said that, but I got distracted.
Yeah, if you decide not to use that slab, you just hit the do not use and it'll decreate, for lack of a better term, that remnant. It'll make the remnant disappear.
Okay.
A great application for this that I've found is if you're going to use a slab for multiple jobs.
Yeah.
So you can start allocating that slab across multiple jobs before it's actually been used. And I think that was the original motivation to create this as well.
Yeah.
Going once, going twice. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you, Alicia, so much. That was excellent. And thank you all for showing up. We continue to keep rolling out these types of features. I think they were all at some level based on feedback that we got from you guys and just wanting to make you guys' lives easier and more streamlined as it comes to countertop software. So keep showing up to these things, keep giving us feedback. We love to listen, and thank you all for showing up, and have a great rest of your day.